What's going on, Paisanos? V here, and today I have my Shaddoll Invoked Dogmatika deck list. I'm going to be making a couple of deck lists. I'll have one coming out for Shaddoll Invoke plays as well. I still think Shaddoll Invoke's really good, and I still think it's one of the best decks in the meta still. But the reason why I added Dogmatika in this variation of the build is because I feel like with Drytrons in the meta, as well as Tri-Brigades, we really want to get to Winda as soon as possible. And with Dogmatika, it just allows us a little bit more to get to Winda. Also, if you guys have any questions about these sleeves, these are the yourplaymat.com sleeves. I'm going to be having a link down below. I'll have a video coming out talking about these sleeves, as well as this amazing playmat from, once again, yourplaymat.com. Yeah, I think it's really, really awesome. I think you guys really like it. But besides that, let's go right into the deck file. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the main side extra. This is my third reiteration of the deck within the past week. And once I go over the main side extra, I'll give you guys all my decisions and choices and why I decided to make them. Alright, so the first things first, for the Shaddoll package, we're running one Squamata, one Shaddoll Hedgehog, one Shaddoll Beast, one Shaddoll Dragon, one Neo Shaddoll Ariel, and two Shaddoll Wendy. We also run 3 Alistair, 1 Dogmatika Fleur-de-Lis, and 1 Ecclesia. And then for hand trap wise, we're going to be running 3 Phantasme, 3 Drone Lockbird, and 2 Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. So this is the monster lineup for the deck. By the way, the deck is 40 cards. So once again, like I said, that's the monster lineup. We're going to go ahead and look over at the spells. For spells, we're going to have 3 Magical Meltdown, 3 Nadir Servant, 3 Shaddoll Fusion, 2 Invocation, 2 Triple Tactics Talents, 1 Elshaddoll Fusion, 1 Call by the Grave, 1 Foolish Burial, and 1 Harpy's Featherduster. So that's the spell lineup. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, comment them down below. I'll try to answer some of your questions if I can. It's been kind of busy by me lately, but if I can, I'll definitely try to answer your questions. So I'm going to have some videos. I'm going to be streaming soon. Back on Twitch TV, YGOPaisano, and I'm going to be doing videos on this channel talking about why I made certain moves and why certain moves were good and bad, and the whole theory behind the variations of Shaddolls, as well as Despias. Okay, we also have Dogmatika Punishment, Shaddoll Incarnation, and Shaddoll Schism, so we have 3 traps. And I'll give you my reason why I put some of those traps in. Alright, we're going to go over the side deck. For the side, it's 3 Artifact Lancia, 3 Psycho Reader, 3 Evenly Matched, double effect failure, 1 red reboot, 1 triple tactics talents, and then 2 lightning storms. So that's going to be for the side deck. And then for the extra deck, we're running 2 construct, 2 app cologne, 2 winda. So that's a Shaddoll lineup for the extra deck. 1 Mechaba, 1 Purgatrio, 1 Caliga, 1 Orgoides, 1 Invoked Raging. So this is the invoke part of the deck. We're also running 1 Entis, 1 Artemis, 1 Inverted Anaconda, and 1 Gravity Controller. These are the Imperium Duelist, by the way, sleeves. I'll put a link to them down below as well. I believe these sleeves are sold out, though. You might want to follow them on Instagram in order to see if they get them anymore in stock. Okay, so let's go over some of the extra cards. We have Artemis, Anaconda, Controller. I don't think none of this has changed whatsoever. I think everything for the most part in extra is the same besides the Caliga. And the reason why I want to run Caliga is because it's a harder card for Drytrons to out. You go Caliga against Drytrons, they're in a really, really, really tough spot. You go Caliga against Tri-Brigade, they're in a really tough spot. And if you can slow the game state down, you're in just much better of a position to win that game. Other than that, everything's basically the same. I know we're seeing some builds that run 2 Mechaba. I feel like after turn 1, you don't really need Mechaba as much. I think you would need Orgoides more. So that's why I decided to play only 1 Mechaba. And for the doll package, it's pretty much the same package as the Invoke variation. Let's talk about the side. So I'm running double Lightning Storm, and I would run a third one, but instead of running a third one, I decided to run Red Reboot instead. I feel like if you need a third Lightning Storm in the side for your side deck choice, you might as well just run Red Reboot because you're probably playing against a really back row heavy deck. And that's why that card's a choice to be put in. It's mostly for the Red Reboot. You mostly play against Eldritch variations, because what you want to do is you either clean the back row out, or you Red Reboot them, and then you just go off on your turn. You just kind of wipe their board out. So that's why I decided to put this card in. We are playing the extra talents in the side. I want to put this in the main. The issue is there's times where you draw 2 and it's a -1 in your hand. There's times where you do open this card and it's really good, but when that happens, you kind of feel iffy. And to be honest with you, I really don't have any more room to put this aside. I want to keep any Shaddoll variation I play at 40 cards. So this is why this card's in the side. Still a phenomenal card. We're running double Effect Veiler. It's really good against Drytrons. You Effect Veiler, then we bet a Faf in the air, and they're basically going to pass a turn. Or if they try to make a board, it's going to be really crappy. We're running 3 evenly matched. This is probably one of the best cards in the meta right now that nobody knows about, because think about it. Against Tri Brigade, evenly matched, and then you just do all your combos. It's absolutely ridiculous. And of course, when you go evenly matched against Tri Brigade, if they have the Revolt set, they're going to activate it. They're going to put extra monster on board because they want to gain value from that Revolt more than likely. And if that is to be the case, what's going to happen is you're going to be able to go ahead and use your Shaddoll Fusion. So you also plus from a minus that they're going to incur. So this card plus Shaddoll Fusion against Tri Brigade, to me, is an auto win. We also run 3 Cycle Reader, and the reason why we're running 1 of 3 of these because Directions is the best deck of the meta, allegedly, I've been told. And when you run 3 Cycle Readers, it becomes the worst deck of the meta. It's that simple. It's 1 for 1. These 5 cards. I'm going to have another video talking about side decks and what the side deck out for what. One of you guys watch me on Twitch, you see I side deck relatively fast. The first thing I do once my deck is fully complete is memorize the side decks going first and going second against certain matchups, and I'll have a video coming out. It's a really long, probably gonna be a boring video unless you're really into Shaddolls like I am, about what to side, why not to, what to side in, what to side out, and why the reasons for doing those choices. And we have Artifact Lancia. Not that Tri Brigade's a huge problem, but if we can stun them for 1 turn, we're basically going to be winning. So that's why I like Lancia in here. You stun your opponent for 1 turn, next turn we go, and they don't see a turn after that. So that's why I like that. Alright, so that's for the side deck. For the main deck, so the first thing you're probably gonna notice is I play 2 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, and the reason why I play 2 of these is because it's a hard once per turn. Whereas Droll Lockbird, also being hard once per turn, is a turn ender. This is an Omni Negator. So that's the way I see it. And I feel like a lot of decks in the meta, specifically Drytrons, but a lot of rogue decks as well, the minute you resolve, including the mirror match, the minute you resolve Droll Lockbird, their turn's over, and then you get to play Yu-Gi-Oh, which is pretty amazing. So that's why this card's in here over Ash Blossom Joyous Spring. I did put Phantasmic back into the deck. This card's also another phenomenal card. Great against decks like Sky Strikers. I mean, it's you already have a great matchup against Sky Strikers, and when you play Phantasme, it just makes it that much more better of a matchup. So that's why this card's in here. For the Dogmatika package, I'm only running a small package. I don't like running multiple Ecclesias. I don't like running multiple Fleur-de-Lis. I do have a Maximus, but I don't put it in here because I feel like it's not needed and it's not as good. At the moment, I do think Maximus will become better as the meta shifts, but right now, it's not that good of a card. The only card you really need is 1 Fleur-de-Lis, 1 Ecclesia. Once again, with your Nadir Servants, you can add it back from the graveyard. Opening multiple Ecclesias is not bad, but you'd rather open other cards. You'd rather open other engine cards, like your Shaddoll engine, like your Invoked engine. You can always search this out with Nadir Servant, and if you hard open either one of these, it's not terrible, but it's not as good as opening your other engine cards. And of course, we gotta play 3 outs, so it's a must-have. For the Shaddolls, the first thing you'll probably notice for Shaddolls is why did I cut 1 Squamata? Being the fact that we're running Dogmatika in here, I feel like Squamata is only needed as a 1-up. Because what you do with Squamata is it sends anything to the graveyard. It's a Foolish Bear friendly Shaddoll card. But if we're gonna be honest with ourselves, the only Shaddoll card you will more likely send will either be Schism and Incarnation. And the majority of the time, I'll send Incarnation if I don't open up the Dogmatika package, but I do open up the Invoked Shaddoll package, because there's a way to do it with Invoked Shaddolls in which you can flip up which Strong Incarnation and add Schism to your hand as well, or Eldar Fusion, depending on the game state. So yeah, so that's why I decided to go that route. Of course, we're still running 1 Dogmatika Punishment. You got to use this card really carefully. I still don't like this card, but there are certain games where this card is a big deal, especially games where you're about to clean your opponent up. They still feel confident, and then you punish them, and that's the game. It helps you clean the game up, or helps you maintain advantage. So that's why I like it, but I don't like it. You get what I'm saying? Anyway. We are maining Foolish Harvest Veilstar because, you know, Mystic Mind's a thing, and you want to have at least 1 main deck out for it. Also, the card's really good against a lot of decks in the meta. You're playing against Tri Brigade, you Harvest Veilstar back row, and they're going to obviously activate all their stuff they have, and if you have a Shaddoll Fusion, you're just going to go plus hard. Also good against a lot of other decks in the meta. I mean, just basically about every single deck besides Drytron, this card's amazing to open up with. So that's why it's in the main. We're still playing Foolish Burial because Foolish Burial, once again, it's an insanely good exchange. You're running Call by the Grave. Now, most Dogmatika variations do not play El Shaddoll Fusion, but I feel like this card's insane, and here's why. Game 1, you're more than likely going to go for Schism. You're going to activate Schism. When you're going to go App Cologne gets you Schism, send another card, and then you'll be able to Schism that turn and keep Schism on board and be really strong, okay? Except Game 2 and 3, a majority of players are signing cards like Twin Twisters or Cosmic Cyclone. And the issue with that is, when they side Twin Twisters and Cosmic Cyclone is, they're going to hit your Schism in standby phase, and you're not going to be able to use it. But with Eldar Fusion, you will use it. So I think in Game 2 and 3, Eldar is better than Schism. But in Game 1, Schism is better than Eldar. Though I will say there are times Eldar is still good in game 1. So you gotta keep at least one of this card in your deck. I don't like this card in any more copies than 1, but in any dog variation, I think at least 1 Eldar is needed, up to 3 if you're running pure traps. Invoke variations, you run 2 of this, obviously. Okay. Once again, I talked about talents, you only run 2. One card I didn't put in this deck, and I'm 50-50 on putting it back in, is Suapali. Suapali easily is one of my favorite cards in this game. It's broken, especially when you play dolls like I do. The issue with Suapali right now in the meta is it's a moderately decent card that has a huge drawback of the scarring cards. And by pitching card, we can't give away too many resources. And by opening up a Suapali, yeah, you might be able to give resources to make a Shaddoll monster, which will hopefully give you a plus of a resource. The issue with that is it's not a guaranteed. And there are times where you open Suapali and you just don't need it. And I feel like Suapali is a decent card right now, but as the meta progresses, especially with Decklist coming out, Suapali is going to be everywhere at 3s, no question about it. Right now, maybe you play 1, maybe, I don't know, I'm not playing the 1 Suapali. I don't want to open it early game, and it just does nothing. That's my issue with the card. We're also running Double Invocation. Obviously, you're running 3 Shaddoll Fusions, 3 Magical Meltdowns, and Nadir Servants. Nadir Servants is definitely the card you want to open as much as possible. Nadir Servant, Magical Meltdown, and Doll Fusion. Maybe 2 hand traps. That's like your ideal hand. And that's the cool thing about the Dogmatika variations. You already know what your ideal hand is. When you're playing Shaddoll Invoked variations, your ideal hand changes depending what your opponent does. But yeah, I think this deck is definitely the best deck in the meta right now. Even though Drytrons arguably is the best deck in the meta, Drytrons lose to themselves. This deck doesn't really lose to itself. This deck will teach you to become a better player, which I like. Once again, guys, if you want to check out these amazing sleeves, they're called Sexy Assassins. They're from YGOPaisano.com. Definitely go over there and check it out. They're absolutely beautiful sleeves. Some people might want a double sleeve, which is whatever. You can use Hyper Mats over these. They work perfectly in tangent together. Also, go ahead and check out Imperium Duelist. They have these beautiful sleeves here. They're currently sold out. I'm not sure if they're going to be getting restocked, but definitely check them out on ImperiumDuelist.com, or you can go ahead and check them out on Facebook, as well as YGOPaisano.com on Facebook. Like I said, I'm going to be doing nothing but Shaddoll videos as far as like competitive wise. I'll still do the market watches, but I'm going to do videos on telling you how to side deck, what I think is good to side deck in and out. We'll be talking a lot about Dolls in the future, and I think there's a good case for why Dolls is not only the best deck of the meta, but definitely the best deck of this year. I mean, this deck has survived everything and has only gotten better, and I feel like Shaddolls with Decklist coming out are just going to have a new version of themselves. Also, if you want to play without Shaddolls and Decklist, you can play Dogmatika and Invoked, so there's a lot of ways to dance around it, but these 4 deck cores are absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait to show you the stuff I'm going to be rolling out in the future videos with those 4 deck variants. Anyway, Paisanos, I really appreciate you guys watching my videos. Your boy V, you Paisanos, have a great day.